Greetings from Hopalong Hollow on another rainy day in February. We don't get snow in the winter, we get lots and lots and lots of rain. But today I am going to show you how to make these woven cloches for your garden. The most important thing that you're going to do is you've got to find the right wood. Once you've got the wood, it's fun to make these, but you've really got to find what is called greenwood. Greenwood is pliable green wood that's newly growing out of your tree trunks and your bushes, growing around the bottom. You can have a coppice. A coppice is where you've taken a tree trunk and you cut it down. That's called your tree bole. And straight out of that coppice will grow nice, straight, lovely, long sticks, or we're going to call them warps and whips. And those that you want to be the strongest are going to be the ones that form the skeleton of your cloche. So in this case I've used wood from the chased bush, and also to weave it I've used wisteria and ivy vines. So the main thing is go get your wood and then we'll go from there. To make a greenwood cloche, you are going to need obviously some green wood, and then you're going to need a drill and a 1/2-inch drill bit, a piece of plywood, some wire, some old scissors, cutters, pliers, and pruners. So I've drawn my pattern on a piece of plywood. I've used a 1/2-inch drill bit, and I made this 12-inch circle divided into 8 little pie sections and drill a hole. This is going to be my pattern to make these green wood cloches. So here you can see that I have gathered all sorts of poles and twigs and wood. So I've got some willow, I've got some privet, which is really easy to come by around here, and very pliable at this point. Locust, really good because it's long lasting, although it does have those little thorns in it. You could just flick them off with your gloved hand. I've also got, what have I got in here? Something, oh yes, from the chased bush, the vitex. These are great. Look at the length of this one. And at this point it's pretty pliable. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting them in pieces, making sure at first that they are easily bendable, and then I am putting them in the holes, looping them over the top like this. So taking one stick at a time, you're going to poke it in a hole and then go directly across from that hole and go through that hole and create the height that you want. Your sticks underneath are probably going to be pretty long, but that's good because you want those to be able to poke these into the ground. So you've got a nice little, like a dome shape or a horseshoe shape right there. Here's our second one. And we want to meet in the middle. And these are going to be a little bit crooked and uneven and so forth. They're not going to be perfect, but one way you can really help yourself out is that each time you create another loop, grab a piece of wire, small piece of wire, and secure it in the place that you want it with that nice crisscrossing motion like this. There you go. Leave your wire in place. Try this one. Alright, this is our third piece. Let's try this one. It goes in a little bit. I'm going to bend it over. Comes in nicely. Bends down beautifully. It's a little thinner here than the others, but I think it'll be fine. And I'm going to secure it on the top. Okay, and we just need one more for this. So now I've got the little dome shape. I've got it secured at the top, but in order to make that top a little more presentable, I'm going to kind of cover that up with one of my favorite things to work with, which is ivy. Ivy is strong, ropey, and easy to weave. So we're going to go over the top of that, right there, and hide that wire. And you see where I've crisscrossed them at the very top, and then I have reinforced that with wire, and now I'm going to cover up the wire with either ivy vine or wisteria vine. I'm going to start with about, I don't know, they're about, this is about 3.5 feet of ivy. I'm just going to weave it in and out of this top here. Just to hide that wire. Just going in and out, in and out. Over and under. And then under and over. Of course, you can obviously see this is a very rustic little structure, but I think that's what I like about it. There. I kind of like that. It's like a little knob. You have to keep in mind, this is the first time I've ever made one of these, ever. In fact, I could not find any directions on how to make one of these cloches. I just came up with this idea thinking it would work, and so far, so far, so good. So this is an experiment, really, and I'm going to continue to weave this in and out, because the purpose of this kind of cloche is going to be to give shade to certain plants that need to be protected from the hot sun. Also, protection for certain plants, like when I first put in a lot of perennials, or I transplant them from my trays, and they need to be protected from nibbling birds, etc., etc. This is the kind of protection that I'd like to have. But I want something that's rustic and appealing for Hopalong hollowscaping, my kind of gardening. And so this is an experiment. So far I like it, and we'll see. I'm going to make a couple more, shorter, smaller, but I think this is about as tall as I would want to do one. And now let's continue, and now I'm going to continue to weave this, but now I'm going to move to another material, which is wisteria, and I love wisteria. As painful as wisteria can be in your yard, because it just crawls all over the ground and sneaks under your porch and goes everywhere. Those wisteria ropes, I call them, are so pliable and wonderful to work with. So now I'm going to try a little bit of wisteria, and I'm going to start doing some kind of weave in and out between these little, I guess you could say, a bird cage shape in a way. All right, let's try that. I'm going to go in and out again. In and out, in and out. Now here I'm down on this end and I have very little left. I'm going to work it around the edge here and grab another piece. Budge it in there. Put it in there. Nice and tight. Okay. And the same direction in which you were going. Boy, that's one long piece. You're going to just go in and out, just as if you were making a little wattle fence. There is just no difference at all. So here we have our first row, and it looks a little bit like a grapevine wreath, doesn't it? And as always, when you get to the end of your... Hi, Mr. Peabody. You get to the end of your whip, just maneuver it in place by tucking it in somewhere. Like so. You can also go back later with some wire or some twine to take care of the loose ends. Well, we've pretty much been rained out, but I didn't want to continue showing you the same weaving in and out over and over again. So here you can see this cloche when it's finished. Did the bottom row, I did another row, and then I made a final row on the top. When you pull it out of the holes in the plywood, you've got nice little legs which you can poke into your soil to keep your cloche nice and secure. So, there is one, and here's another, and I hope to do a third when the rain stops and I'm able to go out and collect some more wood. Well, like I said, they are very, very primitive and rustic, and I think they're going to look great in the garden. I'd look to do, three to five of these, I think. So, give it a try and let me know how it works out for you. From Hopalong Hollow, this is Jerry.